We had Ed Orgeron, a former LSU head coach. He was also a coach at USC. Great recruiter, one of the best recruiters in the sport. And Coach O came in a couple of days ago, and I started the interview by first having him listen to Mark Sanchez, the former USC quarterback, his impression of Coach Ed Orgeron. Answer it if you were Coach O talking about Joe Burrow.
Well, Joe, number one, go Tigers. And Joe, he got the eye of the tiger. He got a heart like a lion. And he love him some gumbo.
It's pretty good. What do you think?
Way to go.
I can't tell the difference. When you walk down the street, let's say Los Angeles, what do people say to you here?
Coach O, what do you say, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
A great reception. I love Los Angeles. Spent 11 years here at USC. Great time for us.
What do you miss most?
I miss the weather. I miss the people. I love the people here in Los Angeles. I had a blast. I thought USC was a first-class program. I love working there. Coliseum, the games, the recruiting. I recruited all of Southern California, get to meet the people. I've been at almost every high school in Southern California. Great people down there.
How did you close? If I'm a recruit,
yeah,
how would you close me in the old days?
Here's the deal, okay? Manhattan Beach, Sunday morning. Me and Pete would bring you down to the Strand.
Pete Carroll.
Yes. We'd have breakfast in the Strand overlooking Manhattan Beach. And then I would take a personal walk with each recruit down the pier and have a little talk with them. And I'd say, you know what? Check this out. You come to USC, you could be like, there's Kobe Bryant's house. There's this movie star's house, this movie star's house. Now, I don't know if they live there, but it damn sounded good.
Do you lie to recruits?
You know what? Basically, I do a good job of listening to what they want. They will tell you. And I learned if you're a good listener, recruits will tell you what they want, and then you can deliver what they want.
But name, image, and likeness, how is that going to change recruiting?
Well, it's going to be the number one factor, I believe, in where players go to school. And you better have your stuff together. You better have a lot of money ready, and you better have a system.
Okay, what do you think was available at Texas A&M when Jimbo Fisher got all upset where they had the number one recruiting class, and he made it seem like this had nothing to do with any of that oil money down there?
Well, obviously, I don't know, and I think those guys busted their tail recruiting because I know those guys, and I think they do that. But I do believe that was a big factor, and I do believe you got to compliment them. They must have had a great system on how to get it done. And because the players are going to go where they're going to make the most money.
Can you have a slush fund?
Here's it's illegal. So to say, you're not supposed to be able to direct the name, image, and likeness, according to the NCAA. But I do believe there's some backdoor policies going on that the guys that are doing a great job have a great plan.
What was the craziest recruiting story you ever heard?
Oh my Lord. I got a bunch of them. One time.
No names.
Yeah, no, one time we had a recruit. I was at the University of Mississippi. We had a recruit that was committed to us, and we couldn't get in touch with him. And all of a sudden, on the last night that we could go visit, I already visited him. I'd send like 9 of my coaches to his house, and Mississippi State was at his house, and it was a big deal. And they was calling me and stuff like that. I said, Coach, we can't get in there. I said, keep on fighting, keep on fighting. Well, it stayed to midnight, and that was it. Well, the next day was a dead period. We couldn't get in contact with the young man. They hit him in a church, in the back of a church. He didn't go to school. They hit him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Obviously, he didn't sign with us.
Who broke your heart? Is there one that stands out?
Oh, Adrian Peterson.
Oh.
Man, I loved him. I loved Adrian.
Oklahoma offered a better package to him.
This is a true story. We go down to see Adrian, me and Pete, and his mother ran track at, I think it was at Houston. Wonderful lady. And Adrian and I had a great relationship. He loved Pete Carroll, but I felt like he and I were very tight. One time he says, Coach, I went to his school. He says, Coach, I want you to follow me. I couldn't drive with him. We went 30 miles I said, I didn't know where we're going. We stopped at this little country store, and he bought a gingerbread cookie. I couldn't buy it for him for supper. And then we went to a basketball game. And we sat in the gym, and I said, what are we doing? He said, you see that guard right there? I got to play him next week. Coach will come and scout him. How about that? Then I said, well, Adrian, what is the key to getting you here at USC? He says, Coach, well, Bob Stoops, my dad is incarcerated. Bob Stoops won't see him. Well, me and Pete Carroll tried to go get him. And to go see him, they wouldn't let us in. But Adrian said, Coach, my dad is be able to watch my games where he's at. Well, if I go to Oklahoma, I tried to get the guy transferred to Los Angeles.
Wait, you tried to get Adrian's dad?
Yeah, I tried.
How does that happen?
I competed. Couldn't get it done, but I competed.
He's Ed Orgeron, the former head coach at LSU. Why aren't you coaching?
Well, I want to take a year off. Think about this. I've been going to a university since I started college for 42 years. All right. I wanted to take 1 year off, settle down, let the dust settle. I have three great sons. In fact, my twins, it's their birthday today, Parker and Cody, they're 24 years old. They all want to coach. My oldest son, Tyler, is 29. We're trying to get them analyst job, get them in college because they were all going to be with me. So there's a little adjustment there. We got one settled. One's going to take the year off, and one's going to try to get in the NFL. So I wanted to spend my time working with them, settle down, and then see what's available for me next year.
Was LSU fair to you?
Yes. I do believe that. Hey, listen, I left with LSU, no regrets. I knew one day that was going to happen. Look, hey, you can't have two losing seasons. Yeah. At LSU. That's the standard. We set the standard at 15-0, and it wasn't there. But look, they gave me a great settlement. I don't have to work again in my life if I don't want, so they were very fair to me.
What do you think of Brian Kelly's accent?
I think I'm the only coach that didn't have to worry about an accent at LSU. I can tell you that.
Who was more important when you were recruiting, Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase?
Well, both are different. I think that Jamar was committed to Florida. He was in the state of Louisiana. But I needed a quarterback. And Joe set the tempo for everybody. So I got to say it's Joe. But that's a hard question.
But when did you notice, though, that he had it?
So funny. Joe comes down, and he tells me, say, Coach, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear your recruiting game. I know you're a great recruiter. I don't need to hear it. I just want to talk football and eat crawfish. I said, okay. I was kind of frustrated, to be honest with you. I couldn't get my claws on him, man. Every time I was trying to get him, no, he wouldn't talk. Hey, I never had a recruit that didn't want to talk to the head coach. Right? So we have a football meeting, and we had set up some plays that he had ran at Ohio State, some plays that we're going to run. His dad was in the meeting, Steve Ensminger, who did a great job, offensive coordinator. Jordan Boone-Jones made the deal. Jerry Sullivan, 74 years old, had been in the NFL for years. I'm in there. And all of a sudden, we start watching the film. I start asking Joe questions. And I figured out immediately that Joe was the smartest person in that room, including me, including all the coaches. And I was happy about it. And that showed me his football intelligence, what I saw in that meeting. Yeah. And that's what you see today.
Put that LSU team up against your best USC team. Give me your best USC team.
Yeah. Yeah, 2003, 2004 was good teams.
Okay.
We had some great defenses, man.
Who wins?
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it. It'll be tight. It'll be a tight game. It's a different game nowadays. We score more points.
Would you rather have Joe Burrow or Reggie Bush?
I like Reggie. But what Joe Burrow did for us at LSU, he's the greatest player, in my opinion, in LSU history. And so Reggie. But to have a quarterback, to do it, to me, I think to win the championship, you need a great quarterback. I learned that from Jimmy Johnson. Get a great quarterback who's smart and tough, get great defensive linemen.
Do you ever get in a fight on a recruiting trip? Like with another recruiter?
We had some battles.
Well, what do you mean?
No, we had some battle, but and never got in a fist fight. But wanted to though.
Who did you want a piece of?
You know, I gotta tell you this story, man. This is a pretty cool story. We you know, I'm recruiting Sean Cody, the USA defensive player, #1 player in the country, Los Altos. You know, and Hugh Jackson and I are commuting from Orange County, and he calls me Sunday night. He says, "Hey man, what you got going?" I said, "I'm getting my visit ready for Sean Cody." He goes, "Oh, no, you're not." He says, "We got to meet with Mike Garrett tomorrow morning." I said, "For what?" He said, "We're getting fired." I said, "What?" You know? So we go there, and I'm sitting there, and Mike, you know, Mike said, "You know, it didn't work out with Paul Hackett. Paul was great to me." So he says, "Listen, guys, look, I don't know what y'all want to do. I'm going to pay y'all. If you want to go look for jobs, go look for jobs. If you want to go recruit, go recruit." Well, I got a mentor here in town, Brian Kennedy, and great man. I called him. He says, "Get your butt on the road recruiting right now." So I go to schools that day that they fired Paul Hackett. Coaches are laughing at my butt, okay? And I took it. I went to one school, and I'm not going to say the name, but he was a great recruiter at UCLA. He was a recruiting coordinator. And the guy was not very good to me. Not very good to me. I left. I said, "I'm going to get you back. I'm coming." And I became the recruiting coordinator. And I took over Orange County. It was, you know, it was a big recruiting area. But I also took his area.
You took his paper route.
Yeah, he knew where I was at every day.
Let's do the what is Coach O benching these days? Paulie, I'll start with you.
Now, this is one rep, Coach Max.
One rep.
Okay.
I'm going to go 310. I got a lot of confidence in him.
Seton O'Connor.
Man, I'm going to go, no offense, 290.
290. All right. Fritzy?
340 was the first number that popped in my head.
340.
I like that.
I'm going to go 325, Coach.
You guys are there, man. You're right there.
What do you got?
I'm going to disappoint all of you. Okay? And I hate to say this. I've got a torn rotator cuff.
Oh.
I haven't bench pressed in 4 years, believe it or not. And I refuse to get operated on my rotator cuff. So it's all flies and stuff like that. But if I could, it would always be 315. I promise you that.
315.
I promise you that.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Not bad. Not bad. Could you take all three of those guys?
No question.
It's great to see you. Enjoy time with the family
Thank you,
there.
guys.
And you'll be coaching next year in college?
We don't know. I'll see what's the best thing available. I'm keeping all my options open.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
The unmistakable voice of Coach O, Ed Orgeron.